Welcome, new friends and old. Welcome to our shared spiritual journey. I am Alistair Adams, this morning's worship associate and a member of the 2024 beginnings class. We are glad to have you here this morning. We are a spiritual community that practices appreciation and acceptance. Together, we work to empower each other in our spiritual growth and support each other through birth, childhood, youth, adulthood, and cherished elders. This Sunday worship is one way that we learn who we are together and as individuals. Worship is a time for our spiritual practice of listening. Who? Because we are always learning to listen, we understand if you have to leave suddenly for a conversation or to help someone with a need. If you are a person who gets overwhelmed by sound or other stimuli, our parlor is a quiet room where you can listen and watch the service. If you need to talk, you can watch and listen from the library. Our ushers will help you find these rooms. If children, youth, and their families have questions about our faith formation programs, our Director of Religious Education, Nick Walworth, will be at the picnic and is happy to talk with you. You can find more about our choir from our music director, Michael Rosen. Our AV technical director is Alex West, and our congregational administrator is Katie Julik. She is here most weekdays and is happy to get your emails. And Reverend Joel Miller is our interim minister for a few more weeks.
Good morning. I am Harper Gorman, also one of this morning's worship associates, and a member of the 2024 beginnings class. We have many announcements in our order of service online and on paper. Please read these to learn about activities you might be interested in attending. Our spoken announcements are for what's happening today, and right after service is our annual picnic. Everyone is invited to this picnic, especially visitors. There's plenty of food, so please stay and enjoy having a picnic lunch with us. Every Sunday, next Sunday, June 16th, we will begin our summer schedule with Sunday service at 10 a.m. Services are here in person and are live streamed online at 10 a.m. Next Sunday, we celebrate Reverend Joel Miller's time with us in our interim ministry. Today's service is a celebration of several important events. The 2024 beginnings class is a part of today's service. After the service, please help yourself to one of these booklets with our favorite principal statements on them that we wrote in class. Also, check out our me tables during the picnic, where we have shared a lot of things that are meaningful to us. Our service this morning also includes a special PR Jumpstart presentation, and then we are welcoming our newest members from the last 12 months. Welcome, everyone. Next, Charlotte Walwork, one of this morning's worship associates and a member of our 2024 beginnings class, begins our worship with the sound of a chime.
I invite Kyle to come up now and light our chalice as we share in this morning's affirmation. Love is the spirit of this fellowship, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
This story is based on a true story involving a UU girl named Mary. Mary was your average 12-year-old girl, but now she was in middle school.
She was getting more of a desire for popularity before middle school. She had seen it just as a normal part of school life.
One day, Mary came home from school, giddy with excitement.
Hello, Mary. How was school today?
Well, the two popular girls, Jackie and Kayla, asked me to go to the mall with them. Can I, Mom, please?
Slow down, honey. I can't understand a word you're saying.
Okay, sorry.
That's all right.
Anyways, the two popular girls, Jackie and Kayla, asked me to go to the mall with them. Isn't that great?
I guess, but I don't feel comfortable with you going to the mall without an adult.
Please.
Okay, fine.
Thank you so much, Mom. I love you.
I love you too, sweetheart.
The next day, which was Saturday, Mary couldn't wait to be picked up by Jackie and Kayla to go to the mall.
Oh my God, it's been like 2 minutes. Where are they?
Calm down, Mary. I'm sure they'll be here soon.
No, they were probably just tricking me, and now they're probably laughing their heads off. And I don't even care, so now I won't even care. And oh, look, they're here.
Well, have a good time, honey.
Okay, Mom, I will.
Ooh, look at that shirt. Aren't those earrings, like, adorable? Oh, I'm supposed to turn? Okay. Oh. Aren't those earrings, like, adorable?
Those shoes are like so awesome.
Oh my God, like, I know. Let's go get some ice cream. Like, I'm dying for ice cream right now.
Good idea, Jackie.
Wow, Jackie, I love your shoes. Thanks, I picked them up yesterday.
What? Picks them up? Was it like a special delivery or something?
No. Look, Mary, do you really want to be a part of our group?
Yeah, like, of course.
Then I guess we can tell you. When we want someone to be part of our group, they have to pass this test first.
Okay, what's the test?
See that cute pair of earrings in the window over there? We want you to steal it. Hold on.
Yeah.
We want you to steal it for us.
Steal it? What?
Yeah, of course. We do it all the time. That's where I got these shoes. So, will you do it, or are you too chicken?
I can't do that. I'm a Unitarian Universalist, and it's against my principles.
Still.
And it's also illegal, and I don't want to go to prison.
It was against her UU principles. Mary left the table and called her mother to ask if she could pick her up.
Mom, can you please come pick me up? I want to go home.
Of course, honey. I'll be there in 5 minutes.
Right. Mary's mom has a talk with her daughter.
Mary, you did the right thing calling me to pick you up. I am very proud of you.
Thanks, Mom.
The UU principles you have learned teach valuable lessons. You should take all the knowledge they possess and use it every day.
I will do just that.
Mary used this newfound knowledge to find friends that were right for her. As she got older, she passed on the knowledge that she had learned to others.
Like Mary, you can use the lessons that all the principles teach you and apply it to your everyday life.
Good morning. About PR Jumpstart project and team was formed with the end goal of promoting our fellowship to the wider community and inviting them to join our chosen faith and to grow our fellowship. So today, the Project Jumpstart team is unveiling our new logo and branding, and we invite you all to a full Project Jumpstart update meeting and presentation on Sunday, June 23rd after the service. But for today, Project Jumpstart team, please.
Good morning. Today is a big day.
Yeah, we're one half of the Jumpstart team, by the way. We didn't step back fast enough, so we got volunteered to be up here. But Gabor is in the back and has been doing great work with us. And Hazel may be here somewhere. She's, oh, hi, Hazel. So Hazel's here, too. Great.
Okay, great.
And
How do we
I'm told
start
it's
this
gonna
thing?
start. I don't know.
It's going to start on its own? Okay. All right, ready? Oh, it is ready, but it's not on here. Okay. Refresh it. Do we know about that? No. Top right. Work on that, and I'll start talking. So, the new fellowship branding program. The Board of Trustees and the PR Jumpstart Task Force are excited to announce our new branding program, highlighted by a new logo showcasing both our Unitarian Universalism affiliation and our unique and diverse congregation. Okay, great. Okay. In its early work, the PR Jumpstart team recognized that inviting, attracting, and engaging new members would require building awareness about both Unitarian Universalism and our unique fellowship. At the same time, our analysis of our existing branding and communications highlighted the potential benefit of an updated logo. After the board endorsed exploring the possibility, the Jumpstart team enlisted services of graphic artist specialists within the fellowship to draft proposals for consideration. Deep thanks to Susie Harris, Yvonne Gorman, and Tim Davis for their research and work creating our new logo and related materials. Thank you. The design team soon discovered that the UUA is encouraging its member congregations to adapt a single brand identity approach, which answers the call for growth and increased visibility, which has come from thousands of UUs across the country. That's the same call from our own members recently been making, and as the UUA put it, we are stronger together. There is power in numbers. The more UU congregations, groups, and individuals who participate in the brand identity, the louder our voices become. Our best chance of breaking through with our message of healing and hope is to align our voices so that they resonate more and more deeply every day. And imagine this. I've been imagining this for a while. So imagine a day when lengthy explanations and elevator speeches about Unitarian Universalism aren't necessary anymore because our faith is known far and wide as a force for good in the world, as it should be. Are you, the next slide. Oh yeah, there we go, thanks. Our UU shared values. The UUA brand identity recognizes that the values are the foundation of brand identity. They differentiate us from other religions and help us stand out from other congregations and groups and campaigns that support personal growth and community transformations. These values were identified through extensive conversations with UUs from across the country. I think I'm missing something. I'll just read off the slide. Compassion. Our hearts call us to invest in the welfare of our fellow human beings, and our communities extend warmth and welcome no matter who you are, who you love, or where you are on the journey. Boldness. From striving for social justice to radically embracing different beliefs, UUs have been a bold people of faith since the beginning. Reverence. We unite in spirit through communities of meaning, grappling with the big questions and learning how to better our lives each day. All right.
So with all of that background around that UUA initiative, which sounds really important to me, we went ahead and embraced that call and have created, with some appropriate customization for the fellowship, we've adapted the UUA materials in our new branding identity package. It will include a comprehensive style guide, still a work in progress, which will include specifics on a color palette, which you're beginning to see, fonts, which you're beginning to see, use of images and use of writing, and as we are really excited to share with you now, if we go to the next slide, and maybe you saw it in the e-blast, it's always helpful to read the e-blast, our new logo, so let's just roll to that. Nice. So, let's just take a minute. Let's be quiet and think about what that evokes, what feelings that evokes in you. And now shift your thinking a little bit and think about what feelings it might evoke in someone who is seeking a new spiritual community and the impact it might have on them and the image it would portray for us. We think things like openness, welcoming, and diversity, all while embracing this look and feel that is increasingly common across Unitarian Universalism. And we think it helps people understand our roots, what's important to us, our values, where we come from, and at the same time helping people discover what's unique and special about our very own fellowship. So this is our primary logo. There's some other versions we're going to show you in a different minute, but we're trying to build a brand identity. So as people go forth, what we're going to ask you to be doing is using this one as the default whenever possible. But if we go to the next slide, you'll be able to see that there are alternatives for when spacing and color considerations show up, and these are a few of the examples. There's an ever-growing list of possibilities here. So you see those there. And so know that we'll be working on finishing up some of these more possibilities and also all the related materials, even as our PR Jumpstart Task Force is winding down its work and our new Fellowship Communications Committee launches. So we think it's really good and important to have it right now. And so we put forth a couple of asks to you as we finish that work and as we get ready to move ahead. So first of all, the first one is to embrace our strategic vision. Our strategic plan from 2022 includes these words, and this congregation endorsed it. What do we want to do? We're focused on expanding and diversifying our membership, becoming more visible, and proactively reaching out to people looking for a spiritual home where all are welcome. Joel mentioned that, I think, in a very nice way at our annual meeting and his video presentation, where he encouraged us to embrace the challenge of shifting from a construction and building focused congregation to focus on our mission as a bold and growing spiritual community. So we hope it'll do that, and we hope that you can, we think we do a good job at that, but let's notch it up and get ready for even more. And then the next one is to think about those shared UU values. The words before were from the Unitarian Universalist Association, but our take on that is around compassion. Look at those words, really inviting people, the seekers in the world, to explore Unitarian Universalism and our fellowship. Boldness, sharing our UU identity, being comfortable and bold in doing that. It's a difference between inviting and proselytizing. They're very different things. And then finally, reverence. And this is a place where I think Joel nailed it too. Maybe we all need to channel our inner Joe Erhain in welcoming visitors and newcomers into the fellowship whenever we see them, and to join us in that place. So with that call and that rationale behind, we're excited that today at our picnic is a bit of a launch of our swag. And so we got stuff for you. And yeah, good. Well, we can't ask you to be bold without making it easy, right? So on the way out of service today, maybe we'll get some help from ushers, maybe it'll be us, we'll be handing out stickers. Everyone gets 2, and we encourage you to put those someplace very visible where people will see it.
It's not intended for the refrigerator in your garage.
Good idea. So very good point, take that. And to be so bold to put it on your car, even if you're not a bumper sticker person. If you look down the hill right there, there's a gray F-150 I've been driving around for 6 years, and the only thing I would ever put on it is a window decal of Jerry Garcia's hand. And some people think it's a reverse middle finger, they don't get it, but Jerry lost a finger when he was a kid and still was one of the world's great guitarists. In any case, down the hill, if you look now, there is one of these stickers on the back of that truck. So if I can get over myself, hopefully you guys can join me in that, all right? So that'll be good. And then the other thing we have T-shirts for sale today. We're going to have a swag shop out front. I'm wearing one. I was going to do a big reveal, but we got a service. But they'll be out there. So this is how it's going to work. PR Jumpstart has subsidized these. We got a variety of sizes and colors, and we'd love to see everyone getting one and wearing it proudly and wearing it often. For just $10, that's pretty great. And for the youth and children in the room, if you brought your T-shirt, and we tried to give you a heads up on that, we will stick a transfer onto it, and you will get one for free today. And if you didn't bring one, we'll get one from you next time, and then Susie and I will do them at home, and then you can have those too, all right? So thank you, everybody, for this time. Thanks for embracing this call. PR Jumpstart really is about getting ourselves ready and jump-starting our outreach to invite people to grow our fellowship, to invite them and show them the love that UU is really all about. And we hope this is a great first start to that. So thank you, everyone.
Every Sunday, we include in our worship service time a moment to share and acknowledge significant events in community and life, everything from birth and death, graduations and marriages, other significant life accomplishments, but also losses, changes, transitions. Not all of the milestones, passages, and gratitudes we have experienced in this past week will we share aloud this morning. Some of them we bring with us and keep quietly in our hearts, or perhaps we'll share them during the picnic that follows the service. But it's essential that we share. It is in our deepest sharing that we find our deepest connections. And in our deepest connections, we find our greatest selves and our greatest strengths. And in those moments when we feel disconnected, we remember to practice gratitude, which is why we read gratitude cards as well. Because when we feel despair or greed, denial or rage, or even numbness or disdain, these feelings that disconnect us from ourselves and each other can be countered. Because gratitude frees us. Gratitude frees us to celebrate what is good, what reconnects us. And as we look for the good in each other, so much more becomes possible in our lives. First, a passage from Dan Bird. My wife, Judy Hahn, received a phone call Monday morning that her twin sister passed away suddenly. Some of you got to know Marcia at the women's retreat in 2017. Our hearts go out to Judy and Dan and their families. A milestone from Carolyn Schwartz. She celebrated her 81st birthday in Atlantic City this week. She's having a good time. And a lovely milestone in passage, Donna and Tom Perch. They let us know that we are back after spending 6 joyous weeks in Philadelphia with our newborn granddaughter, Penelope Glenda Bressler, and our daughter, Michelle, and her husband, David. We were particularly touched that our new grandchild is named after Donna's mother. A gratitude. Grateful to Diane Marks, Beth Hayward, Jason Salisbury, Leslie Moran, and especially Shari Lowe for their hard work and dedication and love in leading the beginnings class that opened this morning's service. and a gratitude for the beginnings class, for opening to this morning's service, and for choosing today's congregational songs. And I understand there's one more gratitude.
I did fill out a gratitude. I'm Paul Firm. I'm president of the Board of Trustees. And I filled out a gratitude for someone who I thought might have a hard time reading it. So this is a gratitude for Reverend Joel Miller from the board and from, speaking on behalf of the congregation, the entire congregation, for his loving ministry and invaluable work on our fellowship's behalf. Joel, best wishes for a bright future in your settled ministry in Newton, Massachusetts, really. This bag is from a favorite store called Just Jersey. I figured he'd want to carry that with him. But it doesn't have a gift from Just Jersey. It has a gift from Harry Wilson, Beth's father. And it's a homemade chalice for your new congregation. Thank you, Joel.
Yeah, I got to have that New Jersey bag. Spirit of life. So much gratitude for community, for the power of the generations to give each other courage, to help each other in their boldness, to be compassionate, and to practice that seeing with love that we call reverence. Grateful for all of the people of this congregation, all of the people who work hard, who are generous in their support and loving in their connections. Grateful for this congregation and its aspirations to bring more love to the world, boldly building, boldly reaching out, boldly serving for justice. And our hearts in love are with those who've experienced loss, with those who are struggling, those who are looking again for hope. This is a place, and may it continue to be a place in the years to come, that loves, that welcomes, that sees deeply, feels deeply, and brings the world one step closer to a place of peace and joy. For all that we share with our words, with our deeds, with our mere presence, we are grateful. And we say, thank you, amen, so be it, blessed be. I love this particular hymn, Where Do We Come From? If you'd like to see the music, you can. It's number 1003, 1003 in the teal hymn books. And the words are up here on the screen as well. I invite you to stand in body or spirit as we ever ask that question out of our love for life. Where is it we come from?
And as you heard in the milestones and passages, this was all chosen, all the songs today were chosen by beginnings class. So I take no credit, thank you to them. Like we've done in the past, and I've been doing since I've been here, and I'm so glad that I've gotten a lot of great emails liking the way we split this, because you do really hear the web of counterpoint and invertible voices around you, because it's sort of arbitrary. Like we've been doing it, the first voice to come in, birthdays between January and March. If you were born between April and June, you're the second voice to come in. Born between July and September, third voice to come in. And then if you're born between October and December, the last to come in. And we'll just do it chant style. We'll keep doing it. I will play each line through once, and then we'll start.
I invite our newest members and as well as our welcoming team here this morning to join us on the bema on the chancel. Some of our newest members who may be here: Jay Blumenthal, Charlie Davis, Diana Hart, Mary McGowan, Katie O'Keefe, Emily Tennick, Sue Vanenchek, and Megan Wolf. And I know there are more welcoming folks here than just Mia, but we are grateful for you, whether you're up here or not. It's just fine. We welcome in our spiritual community congregation these new members. They have made a commitment to this congregation. They've pledged, they've signed our membership book. And you, our newest members in this past year, we are so grateful to have you with us, grateful that you have chosen us as your spiritual home, as companions on this amazing spiritual journey, this mystery, this life. Will you accept our gifts of being deeply seen and heard, of opening together to these journeys of discovery, and with us serve needs greater than our own? Will you offer us your beautiful presence, your unique gifts? Will you add your names to the centuries of Unitarian Universalist people who have spread hope in what we call this living tradition? Will you walk through life with us, or perhaps roll, or sometimes be carried? We do all of these as we create community and a world dedicated to justice and to love. Will you do this with us? If so, answer, we will. Congregation, beautiful congregation. Please rise in spirit or in body as you wish. Do you welcome these new members with the warmth and comfort of your fellowship, of your deep connections? Will you embrace their vulnerability, listen to them carefully, and allow them to listen to you? Will you open your hearts to these newest members by promising to share triumphs and struggles together? Will you continue to persist and serve needs greater than our own as our community grows and changes? Will you work together in community and allow them the same kind of voice and presence as has been granted to each of us when we joined? If so, answer, we will. We will. Let's say now together again this morning's chalice lighting affirmation. Let us remember in this affirmation, as we say it, the commitments we make to each other and even to our own selves. Promises that hold us in common purpose, common love, and a deep, beautiful, connected diversity. Love is the spirit of this fellowship, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Congregation, you may be seated. And newest members, we have some gifts for you. We have some books from our welcome committee, a pocket guide to Unitarian Universalism, and our PR Jumpstart team has for our newest members a gift voucher for some of the swag. You're going to get a free t-shirt. Woo-hoo! This is really awesome. I'm so delighted. Congratulations, everyone. It was wonderful also to have me up here helping me with the welcome and the celebration. We have a wonderful welcoming team and here every Sunday with a loving presence. And I just want to thank them. Thank you all for your work. And I want to thank you all for continuing to channel your inner Joe Erhane.
Our offertory will be collected now, but be sure while you're getting your offertory ready, you don't want to miss the music. Beginnings class. Would you like to come help us? We have some shakers up here. You just have to play the whole time. Never stops. It's the easiest job. No pressure. If not, you're more than welcome to clap where you are. Yeah. Tim will help out. All kinds of maracas and things that shake. And if you sit right there where the choir normally sits, or on the stage, as long as you can see Tim, you see his hands in, yeah.
I almost got up and danced. That was wonderful. So with the beginnings class last night, we had a dinner and a celebration and a ritual. The ritual included giving each of our beginnings class members their own chalice. And each read from a booklet which explained their favorite principle and why they have it. And this is the book that the booklet Harper was telling you about earlier that you can pick up after the service. While you're at the picnic, by the way, connect with those newest members. They're very cool. You're all very cool. You got to get to know each other. So last night with the beginnings class during the dinner, the temporary wall in the terrace room that's going to eventually become the passageway into the new addition, there were pictures. So in addition to the plans for the new addition and the renderings of what it might look like, there were also pictures of important Unitarians and Universalists on the wall also for our beginnings class. Pictures mingled among those drawings and plans. It just felt really appropriate, the past and the future coming together in a beautiful present. And I imagined that some of those in our beginnings class might someday be among pictures like that. Or maybe one of our newest members might be among those pictures, or maybe any one of us here. I know stories about the Unitarian Universalists in those pictures from last night, some from history books, some of them because I know those people. They struggled and faced dangers to live their principles, as we are asking our beginnings class to live these principles. People in those pictures, and I know some of you, have risked your lives to live your principles. Two of the people in those pictures were killed, living their principles. As our beginnings class lit the chalice and read aloud about their favorite principles, I wondered what kind of struggles they might face. And then I remembered a story. I haven't remembered this story in some time. A story that Renata told me 35 years ago. I was a student minister. I was a student in the congregation where she was a member in California. And she began telling me about her life, and she explained her family had been part of the Unitarian church in Prague that had been founded in the 1920s. She was a girl when the Nazis invaded her country and the Second World War began. Just before the war ended, Renata and her family were arrested by the Gestapo and taken to a concentration camp. Renata told me that every morning the guards made everyone stand in the center of the camp for hours. It was both scary and really boring. Renata would use the point of her shoe and draw a chalice and a flame in the dirt in front of her, because that's how old the chalice and the flame are, almost 500 years old, a symbol that's part of our heritage. And in the tradition of those in Central Europe who use a chalice and a flame, she wrote underneath it, Pravda vitieci, truth prevails. And she would erase it immediately with her foot, because, of course, if the guards saw it, why, she might lose her life for that. But she did this bold thing because it kept her spirit alive. It kept her connected to love and to hope and to courage. Symbols can carry a lot of meaning for us. The team working on the logo thought very carefully about changing the logo. We invest a lot of feelings in these symbols that represent people we love and principles we value deeply. This congregation needs a symbol that can be easily recognized, one that can be scaled from very large on a street sign to tiny to fit on a smartphone as an image that will go, oh yeah, that's the fellowship. One that can, in generations to come, connect us in an instant to one another, to our congregation, and to our larger tradition because there are congregations like this, full of excitement, boldness, compassion, practicing reverence. And the congregations need each other just as we here need each other in this community. It was so interesting to see the common theme in the booklet of favorite principles. There was this common theme of connection that our beginnings class wrote about. They had different principles that were their favorite, but the connection that they spoke of in each of those principles was striking. I learned some years ago the opposite of connection is disconnection. And there was actually an event in both science and public policy that revealed the truth of that to me. It was actually the aftermath of America's great war on drugs. Some of you might not remember that. It wasn't actually a war as, well, in some ways it was a war, but sometimes not just against drugs, but against some people. What it was, a massive campaign to eradicate forever the use of illegal drugs. It was especially big in the 1980s. Back then, many scientists and politicians believed that anyone who even tried an illegal drug would quickly become a crazed heroin addict and their life ruined. Okay, maybe I'm exaggerating, but only slightly. The extreme idea about addiction came from two places. One of them sort of an overwroughtness about drugs. But the other was there were some experiments in the 1960s with rats. Scientists put rats into cages. The cages were empty, except for 2 water bottles. One of the water bottles was spiked with heroin or cocaine, and the other one was just water. The rats in the cages would become obsessed with the drugged water and keep going back for more and more until they died. So the experiment was the scientific reason that the advertising campaign could say, if you even touch the stuff, you'll die. There was actually a video, a television ad, that dramatized the experiment. It had spooky music and a dramatic voiceover. Only one drug is so addictive, 9 out of 10 laboratory rats will use it and use it and use it until they die. It's called cocaine. It will do the same thing to you. And then the ad shows the rat twitching to death. The ad assumed that, and the war on drugs, assumed that drugs were the cause of addiction. Now, I'm an addict myself, and I know sometimes that is the case. Mostly not, however. Most of us, if we were to encounter or somehow ingest a drug, would gladly give it up after realizing we had no need for it. Now, if I had said this in the early 1990s when I started in ministry, drugs were still addiction. Addiction was drugs. They were the same thing. And if I ever said anything about anything else being an addiction from the pulpit, why, somebody would have pulled me aside afterward and said, "You've been foolish and dangerous. You're underestimating the power of drugs." What we were underestimating is the need we have for human connection. And I realized this because 20 years later, some scientists thought it was strange. So you put rats alone into an empty cage, give them nothing, no other rats, nothing to do except drink from a water bottle or a bottle with heroin. Well, if you were really, really bored and you had nothing else to do in the world, maybe you'd take heroin, I don't know. But they were disconnected, nothing else. Basically, the scientists did another scientific study. And what they did instead was create a rat park where the rats had lots of other rats to hang out with. The rats had plenty of food and plenty of interesting things to do. Wheels, run around in tubes, go places. And then the scientists put a water bottle in and a water bottle with heroin containing it in as well, next to each other. The rats basically ignored the heroin, like, ooh, why would you want to take that? And just had a lot of fun being in the rat park. Oops, the original experiment actually proven not to have valid information. Later, another scientist described that addiction sometimes is what happens when we become disconnected. And when I read those words as somebody who's an addict myself, I've been sober, I'm gratefully sober for 34 years now, but it just hit me when I read that phrase. If we cannot connect with each other, if we cannot connect with our lives and the world around us, our longing is so powerful. We seek something to connect us, something to get our mind somehow engaged with something. And if we're really desperate, the whir of a roulette wheel or the prick of a syringe or the grasping for massive wealth is how we seek to fill the disconnection we're experiencing, how to ignore that disconnection. The scientist explains, addicts connect with the drug or mispracticing of their choice because they can't connect with anything else for some reason. Now, as an addict, I'm grateful for sobriety. I've had wonderful connections in my life and maybe a vulnerability to mind-altering substance that I just assume not have, but I have to admit that I do. But the scientific truth is that most people exposed to drugs don't get hooked. Or if they used for a while, they can quit the addiction as if they weren't hooked. And the scientific reason is because we want to connect. We want to connect with beauty, with love, with the boldness to make this world a beautiful place. We are fundamentally beings of connection, of relationship. And so when I saw this in the beginnings class, as they described their favorite principles, I thought about how, yes, it's true, the essential root experience of Unitarian Universalism is this interconnected web of life we live together. We long to be deeply related. We long to live with others the fullness of our interconnected lives. Each of us unique beings, beautifully different, and yet profoundly the same in our need to know each other and to be known by others. It was interesting to me that Dan Reedy and Harry Harris mentioned one of the wishes I have for you in the year to come. You've been very much focused on construction for your last 10 years. And I know I've said this to you many times, but most congregations that somehow found themselves stuck as being a construction company for 10 years wouldn't weather that so well. You've done very well. You're a resilient group of people. But just a heads up, the work of being a construction company is very task-oriented. Got to get this done, got to get that done, got to get this done, got to get that done. You've got to return to be a congregation now. Don't task each other like that anymore. That's not a good practice with your fellow congregants. Connect. Love each other. Love each other boldly. Practice reverence and see each other deeply. And be compassionate with yourselves and each other as you make this transition. It's a notorious transition among interim ministers, congregations, transitioning from the construction project back to being a spiritual community. Just be kind. You need each other. And the science is in. We're not isolated beings. We are beings of interconnection. And we're meant to be here. It is so good that you are here. In the years to come, the difference you will make, I can't even imagine, but I will look from afar and with joy and pleasure as I see the many amazing things you will do together and the love you spread in the world. I'm so grateful for this fellowship and for each and all of you.
Please stand if you'd like. Be ours a religion, and like sunshine goes everywhere. Its temple, all space, its shrine, a good art, its creed, all truth, its ritual works of
the beautiful light among you. I'll carry it with me in this beautiful chalice. And know that when our lights seem dim, hard to find, we can connect with one another to find our own lights and enlighten the world with love. Be bold as you go. Be kind. Go in peace. Be in peace. See you next Sunday.
tricky thing is when I can pick them a bit out, but when it's like this, it's kids pick the songs and then switch them off. But sometimes we go week by week with picking too, so I won't always know like over a week in advance. But special Sundays, and certainly in the summer, you know, I have when it's settled, and you know, I'll talk to Sasha and we'll go and forward, kind of like I used to do with Joel for the last year. We can pick them out pretty much ahead of time, especially when Sasha gets here, because she'll have themes and everything and stuff ready where I can click music.
When does she start?
She's coming here in August, but her officially like taking on the role.
September.
She'll be So August she's just moving, doing a lot of back end stuff, but doing services and stuff is not so. That first one after Labor Day, I think. So
That's not bad.
no, I mean if we get the choir the size it is now,